I swore I'd never talk about this. But if I disappear after posting this, you'll know why. People laugh when they hear about red rooms, writing them off as horror stories made up to scare kids on Reddit. I used to laugh too. The idea of a hidden corner of the internet where people pay to watch the unthinkable, it sounded like bad creepypasta. Nothing more. But I'm telling you now, they're not just rumors. They're not just clickbait headlines buried in the darkest corners of YouTube. They're real, and I've seen enough to regret every second I stayed online that night. I shouldn't be sharing this, because what I saw wasn't meant to be seen. But curiosity destroyed my caution, and maybe it'll destroy yours too. It started when I followed a link I should have ignored. I'll admit it, at first, my interest in the dark web wasn't serious. I wasn't some hacker in a hoodie, hunched over green code like in the movies. I was just curious, bored, the kind of stupid curiosity that makes you Google dark web myths. At 2 in the morning, everyone online joked about it, edgy teenagers bragging about buying fake passports, counterfeit cash, or weed from sites with sketchy names. Half of it sounded like urban legends. It felt like a carnival sideshow, nothing more than digital boogeymen invented to scare the gullible. I told myself I'd just dip my toes in, scroll through a few forums, maybe get a laugh out of the ridiculous posts. Most people stop there. They read the warnings, they feel the chill, and they click out before things get real. But I didn't stop, because buried between the scams and the jokes, I found something different. Something that didn't feel like a myth at all. It started with a thread. One I wish I'd never opened. The forum didn't look like much. Just a crude black background with red text that burned my eyes if I stared too long. No fancy graphics. No slick design. Just lines of cryptic threads with titles that read like riddles. The room beyond the curtain. Don't watch if you value sleep. Streams of silence. At first, I thought it was the usual roleplay nonsense. But then I noticed how careful everyone was. No one used casual slang. Posts were short, clipped, and heavy with warning. Every thread ended with the same eerie phrase, "We are always watching." I clicked one at random. Almost immediately, a private message popped up. "You don't want to see this." That was all it said. No username, no avatar, just a blank profile. My stomach twisted, but before I could close the tab, a new notification appeared. An invite code. A string of numbers and symbols I didn't recognize. I told myself it was a trap, a prank. But deep down, I knew exactly what it was. This was the door people weren't supposed to open. Still, I copied the code. I set up my VPN. I turned off the lights. Headphones on, heart racing. I clicked the screen, flickered to life with a buffering icon, that endless spinning circle dragging out the silence until my pulse felt louder than the laptop fan. Then the feed snapped into focus, a grainy, low-lit room. A folding chair sat in the center, empty. Behind it, a cracked concrete wall, stained with something too dark to be paint. A scrolling chat ran down the side of the screen. Dozens of usernames, nonsense. Strings of letters and numbers typing rapid messages in broken English, Russian, symbols I didn't even recognize. Some messages blurred into unreadable static, as if the system itself was censoring them. At first, I almost laughed. The scene looked staged, like some cheap haunted house setup. 2 masked figures stood in the corners, motionless, faces hidden behind blank white masks. But then one of them shifted nervously, shoulders rising and falling with heavy breaths I could actually hear through the speakers. The mic wasn't picking up ambient noise, it was live, raw. Then came something worse. Muffled sounds, soft and desperate, from somewhere off-screen. Like someone trying to scream through layers of tape. I should have closed the laptop. I should have walked away, but I stayed just to prove it was fake. The chair didn't stay empty. For long. From the corner of the frame, two masked figures drag someone into view, a man, wrists bound, legs kicking uselessly against the concrete floor. The camera jolted as if someone behind it adjusted the angle, bringing the man's face into sharp focus. He was real. Too real. His skin glistened with sweat, his eyes wide and frantic. He tried to speak, but the words broke into sobs, fragments of English tangled with another language I couldn't place. Please, no. Help me. The sound wasn't acted. It was. Raw panic. The kind that rips out of a person when they know no help is coming. The chat erupted, lines of text flooding faster than I could read. Some were laughing. Others typed short commands like votes in a game, knife, fire, more. And the masked figure holding the camera tilted it slowly, as though showing the audience their options. A tray of tools glinted under. The dim light metal, sharp, unmistakably real dot. My stomach turned to ice. This wasn't a performance. This wasn't a joke. The cries, the trembling, the smell of sweat, I swore I could almost imagine through the screen. It was all real dot then. One of the masked figures turned. Not toward the victim. Not toward the tools. Toward me. The blank mask faced the lens directly, head tilting slightly as though it could see through the glass, through the wires, into my room. My breath caught. I slammed the laptop shut, but it was already too late. Tried to convince myself I'd imagined it, that it was some twisted art project, an RG, anything but what it looked like. But the images wouldn't leave me. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that blank mask turning toward me. I told a couple of friends. One laughed, rolling his eyes. It's just marketing, bro. Some YouTuber trying to go viral. Another friend didn't laugh, she just went pale and told me to stop talking about it. Neither reaction made me feel better. That's when the glitches started. My phone buzzing with emails that had no subject, no sender. Just a single attachment I never dared to open. My TV flickered with static for a split second, even when it was off. And my webcam light died. That little green dot would flicker on for half a second before shutting off dot. It felt less like paranoia and more like surveillance. Someone knew I had watched. Most people would have smashed the laptop, cut the cord, pretended it never happened. But the thing about obsession is it doesn't let you walk away, dot. So I went back to the forums, and that's when the link appeared again. When I returned to the stream, it felt different. The usual chaos of thousands of viewers was gone, replaced by a handful of names flickering silently in the corner. The chat was sparse, intimate, almost conspiratorial. My heart thumped faster, every instinct screaming that something had changed. Then the feed stuttered. For a brief, terrifying second, the screen cut to my own face, wide-eyed, frozen, staring back at me from the webcam. I recoiled, unsure if it was me or some mirror image the red room was playing with. A whisper slithered through the audio. Soft but unmistakable. Your username? I froze. The masked figure was closer than ever, almost behind the screen itself. And then it hit me, the forbidden truth. The red rooms weren't performances. They weren't shows you watched from safety. Every viewer, every curious soul who dared to enter became part of the story. Once you step in, you're no longer outside looking in. I wanted to explain, to warn, but the knowledge clawed at me, refusing to leave my mind. Some things cannot be spoken aloud, dot, so I warn you now. The choice is yours. Watch or walk away. But know once you peek behind the curtain, there's no going back. I shouldn't have gone back. Every choice, every click, every second, I regret it all. The red rooms aren't stories. They aren't games. They're traps. Don't search for them. Don't let curiosity drag you in. Even now, faint typing echoes behind the feed. The camera glitches for a heartbeat. A chat ping flashes. Someone, somewhere, is watching. If you've heard tales like this, if you've felt the pull of something, forbiddens, tell me in the comments. But remember, some doors once opened never close, and some stories should never be followed.